if you get stopped in the middle of your last sentence and you can't get it out, we as judges have decided beforehand that we would give you 1 extra minute. So try to finish in 5. And so far, congratulations.
Can we get a 1 minute?
But that's a 1 minute.
1 minute. Oh, okay.
Let's read to look over here anytime.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So today, or this weekend, we created RepWatch, Monitor Your Recovery. So, in California, we are the #1 state in the nation that spends on workers' compensation. We spend over $8 billion in workers' compensation. And why is this? Well, one of the reasons is because there's no way to track rehabilitation for physical therapy in physical therapy centers.
So we have created a sleeve that our patients will wear during physical therapy. Using FlexSense technology, it will monitor their movement and range of motion and report this back through Bluetooth, the device that it's connected to, whether it's a tablet, an app on a phone, or a computer. This is really important because it also tracks the patient's movement while doing exercises at home. So to see if they're actually doing them during daily exercises and keeping on task. This is important because it relates back to the insurance company as well to see if their money is being well spent and if the patient's range of motion is improving, if they're and if the money towards the physical therapist is if it's working to see if their recovery time is shortening. Next slide. So this is a little demo of the app. It'll connect back. We can connect back to a watch or be on the phone. And there are a couple of competitors, but we're all working in the rehabilitation industry, and we're focusing on specifically knees because it's the largest joint. So there's the knee brace, which doesn't use any technology or have any recovery data at all. And then we have Bend Labs, which has a bunch of technology, but they don't really focus on the data. And then we have Fitness Builder app, which is you input your like reps and sets and stuff, and it tracks your improvement over time, but it doesn't have any technology involved. And our RepWatch combines all this to provide feedback to the insurance company, to the physical therapist, and to connect everyone in a comprehensive analysis of the recovery process. We provide value to the physical therapist because it validates that their treatments are actually working, and it shows the improvements in the range of motion for the patient. It has higher customer satisfaction because they can both track the same data and be able to, the patient can see it from home, and then the physical therapist can see in the office, and they can both do the same analysis. And insurance companies are happier because their money's being spent better, and then it'll put the doctor on the spot or the patient on the spot if they're not actually following through with the procedures and the practices at home.
Okay, so we had fun with the market validation. We went out some gyms and to some physical therapy facilities, and we surveyed over 65 people. And when we spoke to PTs, all of them, they agreed. They said that they need a way to track patients' progress empirically, to see the range of motion increase and to have that data easily accessible. In the survey we gave out to participants, one of them was whether they had injured a tendon before, for example, their knee. And for those participants, we asked them the question whether they would use a portable device to inform them about the improvements in their range of motion, so they could track it over time. And 86% of our participants, they said yes, they'd like to use it.
So our retail market would be the physical therapists because they are the ones that are actually in contact with the patients, and they will be like hands-on with the device. There's 26 billion in revenue in that market currently, and then the workers' comp firms spend $31.5 billion in the medical industry, and insurance companies spend $8 billion on workers' comp annually.
So our attack to beachhead market, basically what we're going to do is we've created this product, and we're going to provide this to physical therapists for free for 3 months. And we're going to do that, and we're going to collect that data and use that data as a vital source of information for us and also potential intellectual property. And then we're going to donate it to our university and our sports facilities so they can also test the product out and we can collect data from there. Next slide. So our key partners will be physical therapists, clinics around Ventura County, and Zebra, so we can figure out what we're going to do with that information.
So look at our financials. The cost just to make one of the sleeves is about $9 to $15. Also, the smartwatch app, we've got a quote for about $5,000 to create the whole infrastructure for our app. Our revenue stream, we have 2 streams. One is going to be the sleeve, which is going to be $50 per unit, and the app service. So we're going to charge about $100 per month to the physical therapist or the insurance company, and this subscription is going to be, continuing, and that's going to be a constant revenue. So this is just a future projection. There's about 460,000 physical therapists in the United States at the moment. If we tap into just 5%, that is 2.3 million in revenue just from 1 month of subscription. And of course, it's going to be worth it because this data, in the market, it's going to make them even more competitive. You're going to want to go to the physical therapist who has these proven ways to improve.
Right.
1 minute more.
So our team slide. So we have me. I'm customer relations and finance in college. We have Brian, who's great at marketing and web design. We have Alexis, who's actually worked in the workers' compensation industry and discovered this problem. And then we have John, who's our economics and athletic guy. And so how will we spend this 10 grand once we win it? Well, we'll develop the application platform. We'll create 200 wearable sleeves to provide for our beachhead market. And then we'll perform those clinical trials and then get onto our beachhead market. And so that concludes our presentation. Any questions?
I thought the use of statistics was very good and very compelling. It looks like we have a good case. Where you're going to generate your future revenue and how you built that into your model was also very good. It was one of the things I was expecting to be a weakness as you first started, and I was glad to see that hole was plugged. If I was going to say that there was one area that I remain unconvinced is, don't pick it up, is I'm thinking to myself, having gone through physical therapy, is it compelling enough to say that somebody is going to want to, for instance, monitor their range of motion on their knee joint? So this is a question: is that something that's serious enough in the eyes of physical therapists and to people at home that this is something they're going to spend money for, maybe millions a month?
So it'd be more of the physical therapist who would want to spend that money, and because they're getting pressured by insurance companies saying, hey, is my money being well spent? Are my patients actually doing these progressions at home? And there's no way to tell that. However, if you have our device, they can actively see on the platform at their home if they're really using this product and if they're really doing these exercises correctly and making progression.
Well, that does make sense, I will tell you, because it's therapists I know always give homework, and I'm sure that they have their share of people that don't do it. Again, a great use of the statistics and incorporating those statistics into a business model that could essentially show that you'd have a viable business, and it was well thought out. What about the model itself, though? I know that that's just hand-stitched, and you're probably lacking some engineering resources, but
Just a little bit.
yeah.
The technology is ready, what's out there. What we're putting a lot of stress on is going to be the data. That's what we want to protect, the intellectual property. We want to patent that, and so we'll be able to use that for physical therapists. Worldwide.
And again, you showed it on the knee, but it would work for essentially all joints. Yeah. Very good. Any other questions, panel? Okay. Yeah.
If you actually were able to build a model that functions, that actually works.
Not at the moment. What we have is just a prototype.
They work separately.
Yeah, they work separately.
They do, okay.
It's just that would be inside.
Because we would make that a way smaller version. So like a tiny chip that would just be in the what's it called?
Sleep.
Sounds like, yeah. Good job.
I have a question, and I wanted to ask, is your revenue stream coming from the physical therapist?
Yes, so they would pay for the service monthly, and hopefully maybe the insurance companies would maybe work out a deal with those physical therapist companies because they're both gaining value from understanding their customer.
Yes, I think if I was to give some advice, it would be go after the insurance company because they have the most to save. Good job.
And I would piggyback on that.
So the question for the patient itself, him or her, what's the compelling reason for the patient to be compliant with the device?
To get better, honestly. They want to get better and track their progress because, I mean, me as a person, I went to physical therapy after track, and I didn't want to go back and to a physical therapy station, and I wasn't doing my homework. But if I was egged on by my physical therapist and I actually knew what I was, if my knee was getting better, I would definitely would want to use this. So that's the gain value for the customer.
Also, just to add on to that, looking at statistics, or doing some research, it turns out that a lot of people that do physical therapy, after a while, they kind of just feel better because they've made some improvements, even though they haven't, fully gone the whole course. So, for example, if they're starting a course of like 10 appointments, they go to like 6 and think, oh, I'm better, and then after like a couple of months, it turns out they injured themselves again because they didn't see themselves through the whole process. Whereas if they had our device, it would get to a certain point once we've collected the data, and it would say, okay, once they did this